TunePocket.com. TunePocket.com.
Good morning and welcome to the Sean Farrell podcast. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. And let's not waste no time. Let's get right to it. So, men's mental health. Just gonna read off some a few stats, a few facts for you. 9% of men in the U.S. have daily feelings of depression or anxiety. 1 in 3 took meds, like me. 1 in 4 spoke to a mental health professional. 40% of men have never spoken to anyone about their mental health. 20% say they're too embarrassed to speak about it. 20% say there is a negative stigma. And 75 in the United States alone, 75% of suicides are men. Let me read that again. In the U.S. alone, 75% of suicides are men. Okay. Some of the most common methods. Nah. I'm not gonna read methods. Nah. Scratch that. Yeah, scratch that. But in 75% of suicides in the U.S. are men. 40% of men have never spoken to anyone about their mental health. Well, when I was younger, I was part of that 40% who never spoke to anyone about their mental health. Then I decided on my own to speak to someone. And I've been in counseling virtually since I was in my early 20s. I've been in counseling since I was in my early 20s. Okay. Now, I told my story at the suicide prevention walk this past October. Okay. I told my story at the suicide prevention walk, and I don't buy into this myth that men don't get depressed. Yes, they do. We have feelings too. But one of the worst things you can tell a man who's dealing with mental health issues is to man up, because the common myth is we don't show our emotions. We just hold it in. And throughout high school, that's what I did. I held it in. I let the anger fester. What happened? That translated into angry issues after high school. Okay. That's what happened. I held it in high school. Anger issues after high school. Anger issues, depression, and eventually a suicide attempt for me. Okay. And I remember saying this at the Memphis walk and telling my story. I said, I remember saying this while telling my story. I said, you remember those commercials we saw when we were little, when we would see the depressed man, the depressed woman who's just sitting there looking out the window. We would see those mental health commercials when we were kids on TV. We would see the depressed woman just looking out the window, just miserable and depressed. And we would see the alcoholic dad. He would see the alcoholic dad, and we would laugh at those commercials. We would actually laugh at those commercials, thinking he would laugh at those commercials saying, nah, that'll never be us. Yeah, we ain't gonna be that. We ain't gonna be that. Nah, we ain't gonna be that depressed. We ain't gonna be that miserable. Yeah, 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 yeah. I was that depressed. I was that miserable. I was that down. I was that dark. Okay. I was in that dark of a place. I've had friends, co-workers, people I went to high school with. I've had friends who've dealt with fentanyl use. I've had friends who've dealt with meth use. I've had friends who had drinking problems. Okay. And again, it all goes back to what I said. We saw those commercials with the kids and we laughed at them. Okay. And lo and behold, fast forward 25, 30 years later, here we are. Some of us we're depressed and miserable, just like the commercials. So I would encourage all men to speak up and speak out about what you're feeling, your depression. If you're having thoughts of suicide, just tell someone. If you're having thoughts of suicide, you can call 988. You can always call 988. Like I said in one of the previous videos, talk saves lives. I have a real conversation sticker right here from AFSP, wearing a hat that says hope. Talk saves lives. Be the voice. And again, I'll go back to the pro athletes who have spoke about this. Dak, Kevin Love, Hayden Hurst, Solomon Thomas, Lane Johnson. So these are men who have openly struggled with their mental health, as well as Bill Walton, who I just made a video about, who I just made a video a few days ago in his mental health struggles. Okay. So, yeah. So I saw one of these quotes online, and it is one of the best quotes about depression I've heard. It says, "Depression is a case of domestic violence inside your head. You're trapped inside with an abusive partner. The abusive partner is depression. It hits you where it leaves no marks. It belittles you and leaves you feeling inferior and destroys your self-worth in the process. It's not easy, but it's possible to survive." Yeah. Yeah. The part that really hits me is where it says it leaves you feeling inferior. Okay. And that's what I struggle with from time to time, often. Feeling inferior to my friends, feeling inferior to co-workers, feeling inferior to random people. Okay. That's what depression does to you. It feeds you negative crap that inside your head. Domestic violence, depression is a case of domestic violence inside your head. Yeah. So you're trapped inside with an abusive partner. It hits you where it leaves no marks. So a while ago, there was a cop that came to me. There was a cop who talked to me, and she told me about her experiences. She said she was having mental health issues before she became a cop. Okay. And it got worse after she became a cop. Um, it was hard stuff for her, and she told me she almost attempted suicide. Okay, and she told me that she almost attempted suicide. So oh yeah, especially the way, especially the way cops get dehumanized today. It's sad, man. It's just sad the way cops get dehumanized by the public. That's why that's one of the main reasons why I have those suicide prevention awareness decals on my truck. That way, anybody who is behind me at a red light, or anybody who's behind me driving, they can read that, whether it's the everyday common man, the everyday common woman, the everyday cop, the everyday truck driver, the everyday delivery driver, the everyday warehouse worker, the everyday ditch digger, sewer drainer. Yeah. And so some people were asked their favorite activities when they get depressed. This is just like a short list: arts and crafts, painting, music, movies, gardening, puzzles, video games, journaling, and some of my favorite things: meditation, which I got right here, meditation, instrumental music, getting out in nature, watching sunsets. I've always loved the sound of running water in nature. I've always loved the sound of running water in nature. Okay, it's just something different when you hear that. You hear those running sound of water, and when you're in nature, no, just something about that. Something about that sound is just, mm, 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 mm. So, but it is possible to survive depression. Okay, it is possible, and I'm just gonna read off some signs of resiliency in those with depression. Myself, the people who are watching. You have opened up to others about your mental health, even though you've experienced judgment for it in the past. You have a 100% track record of surviving your dark days. You continue to put yourself out there despite being hurt in the past. You don't allow your trauma to define you. You continue to improve your self-awareness and better yourself. Yeah. So those are the signs of resiliency with someone with depression like myself. So, yeah. To those of you who are watching, you have a 100% track record of surviving your off days. Surviving your off days. You have a 100% track record of surviving your dark days. Okay. All right. That's it. That's all for the Sean Farrell podcast. I am out of here, y'all. Peace out. God bless. You matter.